What's up, everybody? I'm John Miller, and today I'm joined by two very special guests. We have Colonel John Antel, retired?
Retired U.S. Army.
Retired U.S. Army, the historical director of Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway. And to his right, we have Mikey Newman, the cinematic director. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Pretty great to be here.
Great to have you guys. Now, I'm really excited because Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway is definitely one of my favorite games I've seen in this pre-E3 period leading up to today. So, John, why don't you walk us through a little bit about Operation Market Garden and the setting of Hell's Highway?
We're very proud of our game, Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway, because we've put a lot of work into it. We've really done our homework. And this is a story about Operation Market Garden from the perspective of the 101st Airborne Division. Basically the largest airborne operation that ever happened in the history of man. 35,000 Allied paratroopers fall behind enemy lines, and then they have to keep a narrow highway open, and the Germans try to attack that highway and block it. And we have to fight to keep it open. So the story is a true story. It's historically accurate, and you play the part of a squad leader, Sergeant Matt Baker, who has to fight through all this. It's really challenging and exciting.
Now, it's got to be tough, I think, writing a story, Mikey, about a losing battle, right?
It was awesome, to be honest with you. There's something inherently human about loss. And the story of Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway is very much about loss. The theme is that everyone loses something. Baker starts to kind of lose his mind over the course of the game. That the death of so many people is starting to weigh on him very heavily. And if you go through the characters, they all lose something either metaphorically, physically, or mentally, which was a lot of fun actually to do as a writer.
So the demo we're going to see today is Baptism of Fire. It's one of the middle levels of BIA Hell's Highway. Kind of walk us through, John, the historical context of this day of the battle.
Well, the action actually occurs on the 19th of September 1944. And what's happening at this time is that your reconnaissance squad is just on the outskirts of the town of Eindhoven, which is in the Netherlands. And there's a long column of British trucks and tanks trying to get through this town to go north to cross these bridges that all these paratroopers have seized so they can get across the Rhine 65 miles farther up. And what's happening is that the Germans know that if they bomb this city at night, and they won't dare come out in the air in the day because the Allied air forces are so powerful, if they can bomb it at night, they're liable to catch a lot of these trucks on the road. So they take every bomber they can collect, and at night they come and bomb the city of Eindhoven. And there were about 200 casualties amongst the civilian population. A lot of ammunition trucks were exploding, so you'll see these secondary explosions going on. And in the meantime, there were some Germans, very few, but there were some Germans who were still in the town of Eindhoven and hiding in the cellars and stuff, and they tried to get out. And our little reconnaissance element runs up against them.
Well, I say we jump right into the demo, Mikey, and let's take a look at Baptism of Fire here.
All right, so what you see is me, Matt Baker, and my two squads. To my left, I have a machine gun team. This is led by Jasper here. And to my right, I have my assault team. This is led by returning character Corian. Joined by him is Dawson. And I'm gonna put some fire on these two elements up here, just two little pockets of Germans. These circles you see are suppression icons. When they're empty like that, that means that they're suppressed and they're not going anywhere. That's good. That's what I want to do. I'm fixing them with fire right now.
Fear.
Circle of fear. Not heard it that way, but translated to Spanish, we might be onto something.
When you see them red, that means stop. That means don't run out in the open. When you see them gray, that means what you've done is you've suppressed the enemy. And this helps the player to understand the real tactics of war, which are to find the enemy, to fix him with fire, to flank him, and to finish him. And that's what you're seeing Mikey do here. He's very adeptly maneuvering his elements so that he can take advantage of the enemy and do what I call place them on the horns of a dilemma. You have one element shooting at him from the left, another element moving on him from the right. They have no choice but either to run or die.
I would not want to sit on the horns of a dilemma.
That's right.
It sounds very painful. Now I'm gonna run up on these guys right side here. I'm gonna see if I can try to trick them, because I don't necessarily have to kill them, but by simply appearing on their flake, you'll notice that they dispersed off a cover and my team took care of them. So our gameplay is definitely very lethal for people other than the player. Your squad is a very useful tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring them up. This is my machine gun team. I'm gonna bring up my assault team.
Now, Mikey, we saw the screen turning red for a second there, and this isn't a traditional life bar or recharging life. How does the health work in Brothers in Arms?
Brothers in Arms does not operate on med kits, and John calls them squeezable nurses or whatever.
I would love a squeezable nurse.
Yeah, well, that might increase sales. But no, we want bullets to be lethal. We want bullets to kill you. So the red screen it basically just shows you that you're in danger, that if you stay there, you're going to die. So as the fire increases, the likeliness that you're going to get hit increases exponentially.
Well, I really like what the team has done here. With the When the enemy starts to shoot at you and you're in a situation of danger, the screen begins to narrow a little bit, your focus begins to narrow, and the screen gets red to tell you to take cover. And that's very much what it is like in a real situation. As a professional soldier, I can tell you that, when you're under fire, what happens is, you focus in on that one sort of threat area, and your peripheral vision begins to narrow. And that's kind of an interesting thing. They've almost got it as a real situation. So it's good feedback for the player.
I'm going to bring my teams up and try to hold off the flanks here.
And do not run through the fire.
Do not run through the fire.
Fire burns.
That's right, it kills you.
I've heard that. Oops.
And you see he's very easily being able to maneuver his squad. He's got some guys going to the left, some guys going to the right, and what he has is a machine gun team that can put down a high volume of fire with its .30 caliber Browning machine gun on the enemy. And there you see the red tracers from the machine gun.
Yeah, I just very stupidly ran through fire.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Thought John was going to punch me. That was my mistake. What I'm doing here is I'm getting on their flank. I'm going to try to displace him again and see if me or my team will take care
Now
of
that
him.
he's flanked him, the enemy's trying to get out without being killed. They act like real men, real soldiers. They don't want to die.
I'm actually going to bring my machine gun team into the house here because I'm pretty sure that this machine gun up here can't see me. This is a tactic that John taught me earlier when I wasn't playing the demo correctly. So Cornantal is very
The tactic's
useful.
called find a good piece of cover to put a machine gun under, and direct them there. And what we found is that there's a lot of positions on the battlefield. But what's interesting in Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway is that where you position yourself as a leader is critical. And what's interesting also is this is critical in real warfare. A squad leader has to direct his squad. If he tries to lead always from the front and always run out there and do all the shooting himself, his lifespan shortens. So if he can find the better position on the battlefield, the better position here on this map to place his men, he can put the enemy in such a position that you just slaughter him. I mean, you really have a chance to wipe them out.
You'll notice that my machine gun team is actually tearing up this fence. This is a new feature of ours, destructible cover. You can actually shoot individual pieces off anything destructible, wood and sandbags and such.
Now this is really important because one of the important things of real tactics is to flank the enemy. And now what you can do is you can create your own flank by destroying cover and then running through that gap.
That's good. We've had create a character, now we have create a flank.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You create a flank.
Actually, might just take you
Either
up on
find one or make it.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and just push on through
What
here.
I really liked about those old Brothers in Arms games is kind of sitting back, like you mentioned, and really acting as like a quarterback or a field general and calling the plays for your squad.
And that's what a real squad leader does in real combat. Now, of course, you can get very involved in fighting too, and there's times when you have to. So the beauty of this game is that you're not in some godlike position just taking charge of everyone. You actually have to maintain your leadership by keeping yourself alive and being at the right place. So the real strategy here is to position yourself to where you can maneuver your squad and see what the battle's going on. And remember that if you can see everything, they can see you.
That's right. It's like a photographer.
Yeah.
It's taking your picture.
Oh, I think that guy's head just came off.
I think so. Well, good shooting.
I wanna check
You
that out,
notice that machine gun that Mikey has placed is suppressing the enemy, and really all of those icons now of the enemy are gray. So he's done a great job in suppressing them, and now he can get close and assault them with grenades and everything else. Now he's showing you how it's done the right way.
I mean, I could do it the wrong way if you'd like.
That's right. No, we've done that before.
I really like the new action cam. I'm hoping we
Yeah,
can get
I'm having a little trouble getting one. Actually,
we can-
speaking of
we
the
can
action
blow
cam,
this
just
guy
real
up.
quick, there's some people asking if you could toggle that off, so I just want to show that you can, in fact, if you want, toggle off anything you want, action cam, all the thread effects, the red screen, all that stuff toggles on and off if you want.
So when you toggle off mature language,
They talk about love and
Unicorns.
forgiveness. Yeah, unicorns, M&Ms, whatever,